So there's this huge debate over the fact that whether Komaytos are considered Metroids. Now if you don't know what Komaytos are these enemies that appear in Kid Icarus Uprising, along with other previous games. These creatures look surprisingly similar to Metroids actually. They both look cellular, they both latch onto enemies to suck up their energy, and they both need to be taken down physically, whether it's through a concussive missile or through a physical attack. And you could see how they're so similar. I mean, physically, they look so similar, but people out there claim that these creatures are completely different. Metroids are red and green, Komaytos are blue and purple. Metroids have talons, Komaytos have tendrils. Metroids can be only taken down by physical attack. If they're frozen, then you shoot a missile at them, and Komaytos, you can just attack them physically. You don't need to freeze them. So are these creatures really necessarily different creatures? Or maybe they're both connected somehow? I came across some information, and I think I'll just make the small theory of what Komaytos are to the Metroid series and to the Metroid species. That being said, let's get started with this video, and let's cue that generic intro. I'm gonna change it eventually, but not right now. So many people would believe that Komaytos are Metroids. People say Komaytos aren't Metroids. But what if Komaytos were just mutated variants of Metroids? As we all know, Metroids are very prone to mutations. You expose them to Phazon or Dark Aether, Beta Wave, you try to clone them, or heck, you expose them to a different environment and they start mutating like nothing. It's crazy, really. So there's gotta be a variant of Metroids out there that bear a striking resemblance to Komaytos. Already at the start, we can probably already cross out a couple Metroids that wouldn't make the list of possible Komaytos. We can probably cross out Beta Waves because they just expand Metroids to become big Metroids. Cloning just causes defects and mutations like the unfreezable Metroids or Mocktroids. Phazon Metroids are kind of erratically crazy and weird, so I don't think Komaytos will look anything like Metroids. Dark Aether Metroids are also weird because they fuse with Ing, and Komaytos are just Komaytos. There's no sign of a second organism controlling them. So really the only main possible source of a Metroid being a Komayto if it was exposed to a different environment. And if we look at one of the Metroids that were mutated from a different environment, you could see how it has similarities to a Komayto. The Metroid I'm going to be talking about is the Talon 4 Metroid. The Metroid itself, Talon 4 Metroid, looks like your normal Metroid. It looks a little smaller, it's a lot more weaker, you can take it out with concussive blasts without shooting a nice missile, and overall, it just looks like a basic Metroid. There are red variants that are changed because of its atmosphere, but those aren't really the most common thing in the world. But if we look at the Talon 4 Metroid's infant stage, it looks surprisingly close to a Komayto. It is blue with purple, it has little tendrils instead of sharp talons, it's very weak, and it's only an infant stage, so you could see it turning into an actual Komayto. Now obviously, it's not a Komayto, it'll turn into a Talon 4 Metroid. That's kind of been obviously confirmed, but it is kind of weird how this little infant stage looks like a Komayto, because infant stages of Metroids look like smaller versions of Metroids. So there's that. Also, if we look at the Talon 4 Metroid, when it goes on to its next stage of its metamorphosis, it develops a tentacle. I know that's not a really big, huge evidence because the Hunter Metroid looks deformed, it has sharp talons and that tendril, and it's not even confirmed if it's a natural stage or a mutated stage of the Talon 4 Metroid. But if a Talon 4 Metroid can develop a tentacle, if its infant stage can look so similar to an actual Komayto, who's to say that a Metroid didn't somehow wind up under Skyworld, Overworld, or Underworld? There are space pirates. Space pirates are known to steal Metroids and attempt to clone them. Maybe the space pirates in the Kid Icarus series actually got a Metroid, started cloning them, it got mutated due to the environment, and now we got Komaytos. It would make sense. If SR388's atmosphere is toxic and the Metroids are green right there, if Talon 4's oxygen-rich atmosphere is full of oxygen and it turns Metroids into red variants, who's to say that the nitrogen-rich atmosphere of Earth, aka Overworld, wouldn't change a Metroid into a blue variant? So what do you guys think? That's all the evidence I have at the moment. Is there a piece of evidence that I forgot that proves this point even further? Or maybe there's a piece of evidence that I didn't even think about that makes this entire point invalid. But you know, it's just fun theorizing whether the idea of a Komayto being a Metroid could be a possibility. That being said, I'm the Metroid trainer. Stick around because at the end of this video, I'm going to talk about clicking on another video. So see you later! I feel a little bit proud about making that video, and I really do like it. Sure, was there really that much of demand for a Komayto versus Metroid video? Probably not, but I want to make another Metroid video. It was a lot of fun making, so if you like that video, feel free to click on the other video, which will probably be annotated on that laptop computer screen. I don't even know what it is. Monitor. Anyways, it's gonna be probably about that video where I talk about the story that could possibly happen in between Super Metroid and Metroid Other M, just because the possibility of a different suit. I don't know. It was a fun video making that also, but anyways, I'm just here because, you know, the video ended. Might as well click on that video if you want more Metroid video love. And that being said, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. I'm out. Later, I gotta work on that Ridley video.